Number 3, in the name of Dr. Parmjeet Palmer.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the Minister for Workplace Relations and Safety. What recent announcements has she made in her portfolio?
Mr. Speaker.
Brooke van Velden.
Mr. Speaker, I recently announced my priorities, which are intended to restore business confidence and certainty. That is the way businesses are able to create more and better jobs, which is better for Kiwi workers. My priorities are related to the Holidays Act, contractors' arrangements, health and safety law and reform, and performance metrics for public services. Over the last 6 years, employers would be forgiven for feeling like they have been pitted against workers. But I believe that the frustrations both employers and workers are facing are connected. Labour market regulations are becoming increasingly complex, making it harder for employers and workers to reach solutions that work for both of them. Flexible labour markets are the best environment for businesses to grow. When businesses thrive, the economy thrives.
Supplementary, Mr. Speaker.
Parmjeet Palmer.
What is she planning to do to improve certainty in contracting relationships?
Mr. Speaker, an important change I intend on making comes from the ACT National Coalition Agreement. It includes a commitment to better protect choice and freedom to contract for workers and businesses. I have asked my officials for advice on how to achieve certainty for contracting parties so that their intent when entering into a contract for services is upheld. Many New Zealand businesses use contractors in situations where engaging an employee to do the work would be inappropriate or not as effective. And I understand that 90% of contractors report that they are satisfied or very satisfied with their jobs and that they would prefer to continue being self-employed rather than to have a paid job working for someone else.
Supplementary, Mr. Speaker.
Parmjeet Palmer.
Is the Minister planning to make changes to the Holidays Act?
Mr. Speaker, I want to confirm that delivering improvements to the Holidays Act to simplify and clarify the law is one of my top priorities. I understand that change has been a long time coming. The previous government's Holidays Act task force began work in 2018 but were not able to deliver on changes by the end of their term in government. I've heard from many a small business who spends a lot of time trying to comply with the Holidays Act rather than getting on with their core business. The first action that I'm going to take is to make sure that any changes to the Act are workable, that they are a material improvement on the status quo. And one of the reasons why it's taken so long to deliver change is that the previous government's proposals were so complex that it was very difficult to get draft legislation. If the draft legislation is hard, then it's going to be very difficult to implement.
Just an answer. Thank you.
Supplementary.
Camilla Bellich.
Will the Minister guarantee that no employee will have a reduction in entitlements due to her proposed Holidays Act changes?
Mr. Speaker, I'm intending on consulting widely about the Holidays Act changes, and I look forward to the member being part of that consultation.
Supplementary, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. What reforms to health and safety is she planning?
The Health and Safety at Work Act is now almost 10 years old, and I think it's an appropriate time that we take a step back and assess whether the health and safety system is fit for purpose. Businesses want to keep people safe and healthy at work, and workers want to keep themselves and their colleagues safe and healthy at work. But one of the things I hear consistently is that businesses and workers alike either struggle to understand the reason for some of the costly health and safety regulations, or they are struggling to know what to do in order to comply. So we want to simplify and clarify the law for both workers and businesses. But before we embark on that reform, I want to hear from workers, I want to hear from businesses, and I want to hear from people who know how to keep workers safe at work. And so we will be starting public consultation.
Very good. Question number 4, in the name of Tim Costley.